Have you ever wondered how the world began? I have, and there are so many stories about it. But the story I like best is the story of a woman from the sky world. And it goes like this. Once in another time, when our world was the water world and the sky world was just marvelous, there was this woman, a crazy woman. Well, maybe not totally crazy, but certainly curious enough to get into big trouble. "Don't be too curious," said the birds. "Oh, all right, I won't," said the woman, but she didn't mean it. One day she was bathing in the river and she looked down and she saw that she had 5 toes on each foot, 1 big toe and 4 little toes. They'd always been there, she just hadn't noticed. So she began to wonder, how come I've got 5 toes and not 3 or 8? So she said to her toes, "How come there are only 5 of you?" "Don't be too curious," said her toes. Another day, the woman was walking through the forest and she met a moose relaxing in the shade of a tree by a lake. "You're that curious woman," said the moose. "Yes, I am," said the woman. "Well, let's call her by her name." Her name was Charm. "Yes, I am," said Charm, "and I want to know, how come you are bigger than me?" "Huh," said the moose. "That's easy," and strolled into the lake and disappeared. Well, by now, Charm was getting pretty hungry, but she couldn't figure out what she wanted to eat. Said Fish, "What do you want?" "I don't know," said Charm. "I have a craving, but I can't figure out for what." "Are you pregnant?" said Rabbit. "Because when I get pregnant, I have cravings." "Oh," said Charm. "Maybe." And sure enough, she was. What you need, said Fish and Rabbit, is red fern foot." So Charm went looking for red fern foot. And she dug under this tree, and she dug under that tree. And finally she found herself at the base of the oldest tree in the sky world. And she started to dig, and dig, and dig, and dig. "Hey," said Badger, "you be careful." "Oh, mind your own business," said Charm. "Okay," said Badger, "but don't blame me if you get into trouble." Well, Charm kept digging and digging and digging and digging, and yep, she found herself right through to the other side of the world. "That's curious," said Charm, and stuck her head in the hole so she could get a better view. Well, she stuck her head so far through that hole that she fell right through to the other side. "Uh-oh," said Charm. "Dumb move." What could she do? She was in it now, and she was spinning, and she was turning, and she was hurtling through the vast expanse of space. And off in the far distance of the heavens was a little blue dot that kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was our world, and she was headed straight for it. While all this was happening up there, the water animals were having a wonderful time down here. "Quack, quack, 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 quack," said the ducks. "Nothing's better than water." "Yeah, man," said the muskrats. "We love to get wet." "Hey," said the dolphins, "you should see what it's like to jump into it." And they leapt up into the air, and as they did, they looked up and said, "Uh-oh," and everybody looked, because there was Charm heading straight for them. Well, all of a sudden the animals knew that they had 4 factors to worry about: mass, velocity, compression, displacement, and 2 problems. The ducks, they had pretty good eyesight, so they knew she was clocking in at about 150 pounds. And the beavers, whizzes at math and physics, they knew she was coming in fast. The whales had made a study of water for a really long time, and they knew that water, it would not compress. And the dolphins, 100% sure it definitely would displace. So if Charm hit the water at full speed, there would be one huge tsunami and life would really suck. So the water animals, rose up together and formed a vast net, and they caught Charm as she came streaking towards them, broke her fall, and laid her gently on the water. But then the animals realized they had another problem, because she sure was no water critter. "Quack, quack, quack," said the ducks. "Can you swim?" "Not very well," said Charm. "Well," said the seahorses, "can you hold your breath?" "For a really long time." "I don't think I can do that very well either," said Charm. "Well," said the seals, "can you at least float?" "I don't know, I've never floated," said Charm. "But if you could find me a flat surface to sit on, I think I'd be okay." Well, the only flat surface available was Turtle's back. "Okay," said Turtle, "but I've only got room for one." And they put Charm on Turtle's back. Then they realized they had another problem. They saw that Charm was going to have a baby. What were they going to do? "Well," said Charm, "if we had some land, I could live on that." "Sure, sure, sure, sure," said the animals, although they didn't really know what land was. "And you know, if we had some mud," said Charm, "we could make some land." "Sure, sure, sure, sure," said the animals, but they didn't know what mud was either. Charm looked over Turtle's back and out at everybody, and then said, "Who here is the best diver?" "Wow, wow, wow," said the ducks, "a contest." "I am," says the pelican. "What do I got to do?" "Well," said Charm, "if you can go to the bottom of the ocean and bring me back some mud, I can make some land." "Okay," says the pelican, and he flies up, and he then dives straight down into the water, sharp as a knife, and he's gone for a really long time. And when he floats to the surface of the water, he is tired, and all he can say is, "No mud." "Well, I'm not afraid of the dark," said Walrus, "and I've got lots of blubber to keep me warm. I'll go next." So she dives down, and she's gone for a really long time. And when she floats to the surface of the water, she's pretty tired too. And all she can say is, "Sorry, the ocean doesn't have a bottom." Well, one after another, each of the water animals dove down to try to bring back some mud for Charm. And each of those animals floated back to the surface, exhausted with no mud, until the only one left was Otter. And Otter wasn't the least bit interested in diving for mud. "Can you eat it?" she says to Charm. "Well, no," says Charm. "Well, why do you need it?" says Otter. "For the magic," says Charm. "Oh," says Otter, "magic? I like magic." So she took a huge breath, and she dove down, and she was gone, and she was gone, and she was gone for 4 whole days. And when she floated to the surface of the water, with not much life in her, everybody was afraid that she was a goner. But Charm noticed that in her paw, Otter had clutched something. And when Charm opened up the paw, in it was a dark, gooey mass. "Is that mud?" said the animals. "Yes, it is," said Charm. "Of course it's mud," said Otter, completely exhausted. "And that magic had better be worth it." Well, Charm took that lumpy, dark, gooey mass of mud, and she spread it on Turtle's back. And she began to dance, and she began to groove. She was right in the ceremonial mood. And then all the animals joined her, and they danced, and they grooved, and they were in ceremony too. And slowly but surely, that mud grew into land. And everybody was happy, except the animals realized they had yet another problem, because now there wasn't enough room in the water for everybody to live. So some of them would have to live on land. And they weren't too keen on that. But before they could reach any consensus, Charm had her baby. And what happened next? That is a tale for another time.